Fight Night 94, Dustin Poirier versus Michael Johnson. First up we got Maxime Blanco versus Chas Skelly. Skelly very nice on the ground, he can strike too. Blanco likes to knock out people and keep it in the striking. I see Skelly taking this one and I'll go for a first round submission. Antonio Carlos Jr. versus Leandro Guimaraes. Jr. far younger. What I will say about Leonardo is he's very dangerous, as in terms of he cannot be in a fight for ages and look to get rocked, and then it will just spring out of nowhere and hit you with something. The dude is super durable, and he's, as I said, he will bounce back when you least expect it. Saying that though, I'm going to go for a first round submission for Junior. Just I feel that his ground game is very advanced. So Randy Brown versus Eric Montano. Brown 7-1, very good in the stand-up with his striking. Only 26, he's still got a lot of time ahead of him. Needs to work on his submission defense a little bit. I feel that I just think he overall, in pretty much all the areas, he is better than Montano is. So I see him winning this quite easily and quickly. First round TKO for Randy Brown. Joey Gomez versus Jose Alberto Quinones. Gomez an accomplished striker. Quinones is not a bad striker in his own right, so it could be a very exciting fight. But I don't feel that he's on the level that Gomez is. I'm going to go for a first round TKO for Gomez. Augusto Montano, Eric's brother, versus Bilal Muhammad. Muhammad is just a grinder. He will stick in it. He wins a lot of his fights via decision. So he can definitely rack up points and win on volume. But I think Montano is comfortable in the stand-up and on the ground, but I've got Muhammad via decision. Sam Sicilia versus Gabrielle Benitez. Not a lot of difference in terms of the rank, of the experience. Two grinders in their own right. I'm going to go with Benitez decision. Chris Wade versus Islam Makhachev. Wade a scrapper. He'll want to keep this in a stand-up, I believe, and I feel that Islam's more rounded overall, but I'm going to go for Wade in a decision. Next up, Ron Guerrero versus Kenny Robertson. Guerrero will not want to take this fight, keep the fight in a stand-up. He's very accomplished on the ground, so I feel that in the ground is where he's going to look to go from early on. Most of his victories come via submission. Robertson is no pushover on the ground. He's probably a better striker than Guerrero is. I think that decision. This fight has decision written all over it, so I'm going to go for a decision win. Go for a third round submission for Guerrero, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to decision, but I'd say Guerrero would get decision as well. Alberto Morales versus Alejandro Perez. Morales has got some sub skills. Perez is very good at the TKOs and the KOs, so he'll want to keep it in a stand-up. Kind of a difference in their styles will clash in this fight. I'm going to go for a decision for Perez. Evan Dunham versus Rick Glenn. Glenn predominantly a striker. For most of his fights he's won via TKO. Dunham fighting for Extreme Couture. Wins a lot on points. Quite a bit more of a ground game than Glenn. So I'm going to go for Dunham via TKO for the second round. Co-main event, Uriah Hall versus Derek Brunson. Now these two don't like each other. This stems back from The Ultimate Fighter. Uriah is just a fantastic striker, unorthodox angles that he creates. He's quick, he's explosive, and you just don't know what he's going to hit you with in a stand-up. Brunson is a bit more of a scrapper. Comes from Jackson Wink's gym. Wins quite a few via TKO as well, but I do feel that in the stand-up side of things, Uriah is far ahead of Brunson. Brunson is tough, but I've got Uriah hitting him early in the first with something, just with those angles that he creates. whether it be a kick or a punch. Like, I just see him creating one of those unorthodox angles that you can't have a game plan for. And I got TKO in the first for Uriah Hall. And finally, main event, Dustin Poirier versus Michael Johnson. Poirier, a very good stand-up fighter. His main strength is his boxing skills, so he's likely to catch Johnson with a punch rather than his kicks. Johnson's got very good takedown defense, but I don't really see that coming into as a factor, because, as I said, I feel that Poirier will keep it in a stand-up and will win the fight will try and win the fight via that way. I don't see him trying to take Johnson to the ground. I feel that Poirier's coming out of American Top Team and just an established fight camp. Johnson, as I said, good takedown defense, but I don't think that's really going to play a part in this fight. I think that he's coming out of Black Zillion's camp, another well-known camp. I feel that Johnson's got the slight height and reach advantage. Whether that will play into the fight or not remains to be seen. I feel that he's got a weaker chin than Poirier has, but who knows? With Poirier's boxing skills, it's a difficult one for Michael. But I do see, personally, he's the underdog, but I do see Michael Johnson winning this fight. I'm going to go for a decision for Johnson. I just feel that he will be slick enough to do enough to get out of the range of Poirier's punches and the angles that Poirier tries to hit him with. I see that Johnson, he might even try to take it to the floor just to keep Poirier on the floor and less dangerous from the strikes. So I'm going to go for a Michael Johnson decision. Hope you enjoyed the picks. I'm out.